Well, a few months ago, I was amazed to see video of constitutional lawyer, very successful counselor, Gary Fielder, going into the county where Denver's at and saying no to the naked body scanner. And he got the policy changed because it violates child porn laws. 18 and under, they don't scan you. People can now be patted down if they want because, we're the evil prisoners. He couldn't even practice law there without doing this. They were blocking his access to the courts, violating his constitutional rights. And now we've shown Homeland Security 18-wheeler trucks. Speaking of 18-wheelers, the globalists have got their run to make. They say they're going to have them at concerts, outside malls, at highway checkpoints. So as we told you, anything they do in the airport is a beta test for everywhere else. So when I heard that this gentleman was coming here to Austin, Texas, I wanted to get him in studio. So Gary Fielder, it's great to have you here with us.
Alex, thank you so much. What a wonderful place you have here. You don't really realize how great of an operation it is until you get here and get to walk around a little bit. Congratulations. You've really done a wonderful job.
Well, it's not that. I mean, it's cozy, but we just expanded. We're building a TV studio, but thank you. This is a short segment. I'm going to try to shut up here and get into the fight against the naked body scanners. I've been really not promoting it. $15,000 in prizes. We need to get a banner up on InfoWars and Prison Planet. I asked for that. And we need to get the guys to do that. I know they're busy, about the contest to expose the naked body scanners. But what you're doing is legal, and you're traveling the country, but you're also talking about the overall attack on our Bill of Rights and Constitution from the unique perspective as a constitutional lawyer. So break down the naked body scanners and everything else that's happening.
Well, the naked body scanner story started when I went down to a local county, Douglas County, and I had protested a couple of other times and had been just completely searched, as I detailed on your show. So there just came a point where there had to be a breaking point where I wasn't going to go through the scanner and I wasn't going to be touched. I just got a call a couple of days ago from an oath keeper on the plane on the tarmac at San Francisco, outraged at what he had just gone through. He refused the scanner, and just like we talked about, they ran their hands up and down his legs.
They grabbed your genitals. They grabbed your wife's genitals.
They ran his fingers through his hair, and he was on the phone talking to me, outraged at what he had to go through. There was no third option of a metal detector, a wand.
And clearly it's harassment.
There's no legitimate reason for it. Name one instance where an American got on a plane and flew it into a building. Name one instance where, a guy went down to the commercial airline and did anything other than try to get on to a plane. So it's an issue where people are just going to have to stand up for their rights. And I heard you talking to Mr. Ventura. At first, you're going to have to be searched. Do not go through that body scanner. That's an absolute degradation of your rights. The idea of having a naked picture of me stored on a hard drive is repugnant enough to actually have to go through the...
And a month ago, they said it was going to be voluntary. Now they're saying, maybe it will be mandatory.
Well, there's going to have to be an alternative. We got to thinking about it back in Denver. It's not just about getting on a plane. What if you get on a plane and then you can't get back? What about your family? What about your business waiting for you? What if you get stranded because you just stand up for your constitutional rights? So we all know where this is going. This is going to the federal court. They're going to have to decide this. They're going to have to decide this on the issue of privacy. And so there's a lot of cases that have come out in favor of reproductive rights and things like that, which sort of interweave a right to privacy into our Constitution, which some of us have objected to over time. We're going to have to use that same case law and put it over into a right to privacy connected with a right to travel.
And a presumption of innocence. They sell it like, we don't discriminate. Everyone is tracked and traced. But then in reality, that gets rid of any type of probable cause or due process where, you have rights to have no rights.
Right. You have rights to have no rights. Now, this is why I'm so excited about the issue of sovereignty. Because in order to look somebody in the eye and say no, in order to say, hey, I'd rather not do that, whether it be acting like a monkey on the side of the road at the direction of a police officer, whether it be completely having your body touched or having your naked body photographed, at some point you got to be able to square up and say, no, sir, I'd really rather not do that. And that requires the consciousness of a sovereign, not the consciousness of a slave that says, no, I don't want to do that. I'm scared. The consciousness of a sovereign that stands up and says, no, sir, there's going to have to be another option.
And they're always pushing the boundaries. Now they say suicide bombers may have fake breast implants. We need to X-ray you. And this system already gives you some radiation, but even more. We're going to come back and talk about the event you've got coming up in Austin, how folks can go to that. We're going to talk about a lot more and continue to talk about the Bill of Rights and Constitution. And now they want mobile, well, they have them, mobile 18-wheelers where they're going to herd you and your family at checkpoints through these and take your blood. Now, going back to Gary Fielder, Gary, continuing, my issue here is it's not just this act of submission. It's, this pointlessness. They help the underwear bomber get on the plane. That's now admitted, but they bury it in footnotes in the news. Now they have you seen the video of these big mobile trucks?
No, I haven't.
In fact, we played that, Tuesday? Try to pull that up just while he's talking. Show the mobile trucks with body scanners, brain scanners. Here's AFP today. Brain scans can read people's thoughts. As a lawyer, it took decades to prove that the lie detectors were quackery. It was just a way to send innocent people to prison. This is even worse. So this, as bad as it sounds, this is only the beginning, these body scanners. Please continue.
Well, again, it comes down to having, first of all, enough intestinal fortitude to say no. But when you say no, then what's going to happen? It sort of shifts the burden, if you will. And I don't want to put anybody in danger. Nobody wants to get their arm twisted up their back or arrested. But when you're at an airport and you're just simply standing up for your right to privacy, the next issue becomes the alternative. They're going to have to give an alternative to children. That's set in stone.
The British government said that.
So if you're going to run 16 and 17-year-old young men and women through, well, why can't an old 46-year-old like me go in that line and just have to put up with the search? I'll do that twice. But at some point, the federal court's going to have to issue that, or your state court. I don't think the state court will have jurisdiction over TSA, so ultimately it's going to have to wind up in a federal court.
And we've got to buck this, so they're going to put it in everywhere, like the courthouse.
Well, this has to be nipped in the bud now.
And you had success.
Well, I had success in the courthouse because it was a little bit different because you had to go to court. Witnesses were subpoenaed to court. Lawyers were on the docket to be there. There's always this issue of, well, just don't get on the plane. Take a plane. Drive your car. That kind of goes against the right to travel, but they want to use their ability to reasonably regulate. So all of those different issues are going to clash. So now's the time to do it. Now's the time to get in to federal court and get this issue litigated. Now, what does that mean? That means waiting. That means being patient. That means picking the perfect plaintiff. That means trying to get it into the jurisdiction that you think is going to be most favorable, not just filing some injunction tomorrow down at your local courthouse. So this is going to have to be a sophisticated fight. That's what it's going to have to be. But it needs to be done now before they're all installed. I went through Denver International Airport 2 weeks ago, and they had two lines, one with the scanner, one without. It was about 50-50, so I got to choose. So they're just trying to integrate them in so that the next time I go down there, there's going to be two. But there's going to have to be a third line for some reasonable alternative. So the real issue is, what is the reasonable alternative? I think I could convince a federal judge that having your body touched is just as bad as having your body photographed.
Well, there's also the angle separately to go after Chertoff, who made the orders for these billions of dollars of machines when he was the head of Homeland Security and now makes money from it. There's more than one way to skin a cat as well.
Well, it's not just a matter of inconvenience. We've all been grossly inconvenienced just trying to get onto a plane. So we just stand there and take that for an hour and a half. This is seriously about touching your body or taking a photograph of your naked body. I think that's about as invasive as you can get. Other than extracting bodily fluid, we're right at it.
Well, they do that in Texas now. They take blood without warrants at checkpoints.
Right. Well,
first, it was these fake warrants they would swear out for everybody. Now it's just legislature said, yeah, then no more Fourth Amendment.
Right. Well, people come up to me as a criminal lawyer, and they always ask about DUI. What should I do when I get pulled over? And, I don't give that advice of crack the windshield, slip your driver's license out. I don't say that. I say, roll down your window, be pleasant, be nice, but be short. You don't need to speak to the government. You don't need to get out of your vehicle. You need to show them your documentation and ask to move forward. At every level, you have to check that officer. Otherwise, you're going to be out of that car. You're going to be in front of headlights, jumping around on 1 foot and spinning around.
Well, the way to stop the DUI checkpoints is on the Fourth Amendment, obviously. But on top of that, the illegal aliens in 800-plus cities are given a free pass. That's discriminatory.
Well, that's a whole different issue that's really hitting Denver hard because a a local person whose child was unfortunately killed at a Baskin-Robbins has just sued the city and county of Denver, I believe the state of Colorado, and a couple of different agencies for continuously giving this particular gentleman who was driving pass after pass after pass on habitual traffic offender tickets, driving under revocation. But they just give him a pass. So sure enough.
Let me guess, he was an illegal.
Yes.
No, I mean, in Austin, I've talked to the county officials.
Right.
They say they're allowed to run people over and they're let go. I mean, it's God level.
Right.
A cop can't be drunk driving and kill somebody. And I mean, this is, I mean, literally, I ought to change my name to like, you know, Juan Gonzalez and just be God.
It sent a shiver through the spine of every police officer and every police chief and every politician who now has to deal with this issue. And so I'm not encouraging lawsuits, but
I am.
As much as we badmouth the federal court, that's why it's down the street.
Well, we have to bring force to bear on people that are violating our rights.